Hello everybody, Monsenin speaking here from Brighton. I wrote something about this video that I'm going to read in parts and explain to you, okay? So today's video can be quite revolutionary in the sense that it can change the direction of your practice for better. Now, quite often you hear me saying that something can be so important for your practice. But there are things that are more part of the ornament of the movements, and they can add meaning and they can add different purpose. And these are all points of inspiration that can absolutely change the directions of our practice. However, what I'm going to talk about today, I think it's a really even more substantial. I think it could, when I say revolutionary, because it could really change how you move. Once you have practice, once you apply. Also is revolutionary because it could change the way you think about the movement. So I start by asking questions. Why do we play the way we play? The question, why do we play the way we play, will open up many other questions. So I say this question is of course very profound, but its answer or its answers will give some opportunity to reflect. Now, I am first talking about physicality. I'm saying, why do we play the way we play? Why do our body move the way we move as we play capoeira? And perhaps more in the context of our style. Now, there's many ways to answer this question, and many ways that we should be answering this question, understanding the history, understanding the way that the body moves because of its biology. There are so many things that should go into answering this question. However, I'm going to be focused on a specific point, again, in relation to the class. So once I wrote, we curve towards each other. This is a little more poetic way of answering, okay? We curve towards each other because the heart is rounded. The heart is a circle. Now, I think this point, again, I think this point is very profound, at least on a personal level for me, because I'm thinking, why is it? Why do our bodies do that? Why do our bodies are curving this way? There's a lot of, not necessarily forward bending, but there's a lot of leaning towards each other in a circular motion. And I think it is an obvious answer, but nevertheless a profound one, which is, well, we play capoeira in a circle. Our bodies are constantly shaping, fitting this sphere, this roundness. We bounce up and down to increase the potential of the game. This is one that I really love, because another answer is, why do we have this bounciness? And again, there are historical answers to this, going back into the lineages of the art form itself, into the dances and cultures that influence capoeira movement. Nevertheless, if we just focus on the now, we bounce up and down, and that bounces paradoxically towards the floor. So we don't just bounce up and down going up, we bounce up and down going down to the floor most of the time. One of the reasons why we do that is because that constant bouncing up and down, it keeps the potential going, the movement going in potential. Otherwise, we just stand in front of each other and we limit that potential of movement. We increase the potential of the whole game by bouncing up and down. So this leads me more specific to the theme of this particular class. So these are some of the questions that now leads me to understanding something more about the physicality, which is, I'm going to call it the main link in your body between you and the floor. Now that might sound a bit strange. The main link in your body between you and the floor. But there is a part in your body that links your upper body to your lower body, and is that linking, that combination, that will make you go to the floor, that will take you to the floor in a more efficient way. And that, of course, I'm talking about your hips. I'm talking about all this area around your hip that connects your upper body, therefore your head, your arms, your limbs, core, and your legs, which you're standing on to go to the floor. So although what you're going to see, it's in the class, it's actually quite basic, because we're starting this week. We're starting with this idea. It's quite basic, it's quite simple. They look just like we stretching into the posture and then turning. I really think that as we master that, I really think that as you understand the potential of your hip and all this area, the gluteal area, the front, the pelvic, leading to the core, leading to the abdominal area. When you understand that, when you understand how that should function and stretch, then the ways that you're going to go to the floor, you can really become more efficient. The word is efficient, but not just that. You can then find ways to express. Remember that a massive part of our work is how can we communicate feelings and express ourselves through the movements. Now think about this. The way you move on your hip and you go to the floor can actually affect your facial expressions. To understand and to take away restrictions in those openings, in the esquivas, into the negativas. I find when people don't have that, they tend to look down more, they tend to curve in a more, I'm gonna say weak way. It's not necessarily weak, but it feels a little bit weaker. It feels that it lacks some strength. And that will of course be shown in your face. It may even disconnect you to the game a little bit because your body just feels a little bit more tired. And that's really, I see this quite often. And then I feel that when you work a little bit on that, when you work on that flexibility of the hip, no matter how basic it is, and you find that you can move, you can start to change the relationship between your upper body and your legs. So you shouldn't follow that wide, strong, low waist stances affect you in a way here that you have to relate to that a certain way. So all of this is a process of learning how to move from in to those positions with ease, and then starts to be able to express yourself sometimes independently from the posture. See what I mean? And that's because I may need a wide stance a certain time. Let's say there's a dangerous moment in the game and you have to really make a strong stance in that moment. But it's not because you're making a strong stance that you should lose your cool and you should go into another mode. Oh, wide stance, danger. Sometimes the very opposite that you want. You want to have a strong, wide stance posture that will lead you to a nice relais, but your face is expressing still that ease and effortless. And this is why this could be revolution. I hope that these videos are at least an inspiration for you to keep moving forward, for you to keep finding your answers, for you to keep finding ways to connect with this beautiful art and to express in your body what your heart feels. So this should not take away from the fact that you are you want to be in a studio, in a gym, in an academy with a group of people and interacting and playing capoeira. These are purely inspirational videos for archive and to give an insight of how the body moves, remembering that everything that we do will eventually have to connect with someone else. But you might remember another video of mine that I said it is important to have these moments of incubation, these moments where you are learning how your body really moves. You want to become a master of your instrument. For you to relate to another instrument, for you to make music with another instrument, you need to dominate your instrument. It's no good of me just picking up a guitar and say the whole point of a guitar is that I can play with someone else. I have to play the guitar by myself as well, learn the sounds of the strings, learn how to use the guitar, and then obviously we're going to make music when we get together. So don't feel discouraged and don't diminish the value of practicing by yourself. I'm here encouraging you to find a teacher. I'm here encouraging you to find a group to support your community, but it shouldn't take away that there are parts of our practice. They may be small for some of you, they may be larger for others, but there are parts of our practice that we spend some time thinking about how we move, not always in relation to someone else, but how our bodies function. Enjoy. So I'm gonna think of this base starting on this leg. So we'll start on this leg to base here to transition to this side, hand on the floor. Now I retrace that with the shoulders, come back up. Now the secret here, guys, if there is a secret here, is to keep the upper body lifted as if I don't need to use the hands at all. And that actually makes the movement feel stronger to come back up. And also we're doing slowly. That's not overloading the body with speed. If I ask you to do this fast, you would just not feel right, that depth to go so fast in the beginning. 6, 7. Keep lifting the shoulders, arching your back. 8. Change side of ginga. 1. 2. We'll go a little bit slower. We're just going a little bit faster here. Go slowly. 3. Keep that feeling of open space here. Open space here. 3. 4. 5. Remember to let the shoulders delay the arm. So the shoulders are delaying the arm. And the same thing. Yeah, beautiful. Watch the coming back more, guys. Watch the coming back more. Look, shoulders. Let's do one more. Ginga. Now we're going to change side. We go to that position. And then from here, what we're going to do is go forward. And if you can, you go all the way into a negative there on this knee. That's it. Just go into a negative here. Now I am really using a forward space now. Forward space, so my knee is fine, my knee is safe. If it doesn't feel safe, just hold there. But look how much forward I'm going now. And we just want to go there. As if I'm transitioning to a rolé, you see? So we go forward, all the way. Use your arms, safe on your knees by using your arms. Another tip is to think about your knees touching the floor there. That's a great tip for anybody that needs some recovery and doesn't want to go straight into a bent knees. You can put the knee on the floor and then we're going to come up. Or we're going to go from here, leaning forward like a cabeçada and come up. Place the hand behind. I am on tiptoes. Just stretch the arm. Don't rush. Push back. Place the hand behind. Don't rush. One more. So this moment here is crucial. Let's do one more with me. As I'm here and I go backwards, that's okay because that feels natural to fall there. Now this moment here, coming back, this moment is really crucial to master. And I'll show you later why. Some advanced things that come out of these transitions. To be able to push back into the front leg. Other side. Back to the push. Use your hand to push back into the front leg. Okay, guys, parallel from here. Little turn out of the hands now. Little turn out of the hands. We're going to this tabletop-like posture. And we're going to thread forward. The leg is taking further. So that's my parallel. The legs go a little further so I have that movement to go there. So I want us to go there. Hold that position. So I'm first thinking about going there. As I get more into the movement, I'm also thinking about lifting the hip into a ponte. And if I start to lift the hip into a ponte, I think about the shoulders opening. But just start by moving a little bit into that knee, coming back. Hold. So first there, if your hip is a little sinking like that, that's okay. But just think about lifting a little bit more. 6, So now we're going to transition 1, okay? And 1, 2. Push the body with your arm. So push the floor away from you, lift the hip. 3, 4, 5, 6. So now we go into that mola. So it's the leg is fall from here and punch and mola. 2. This is all part of our meditation. Contrasting low hip, high. 5, 6. Change mola. Mola here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Stopping mola, switch leg, whole leg. Coming back forward, opening to that movement. So now from here, we're going to start to work on our mola. How I'm going to work in the mola is to first lift the chest. So I'm not falling backwards. I'm lifting the chest. That foot wants to come out, but it comes out as I sit down again. Now here's the transition of the hand. 2 ways of doing. Beginners, you're going to move your hands here, here. So let's hold that posture there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now stay quite strong. Lift your chest here. Don't start to sink on a hunchback. 9, 10. Change side. Lift the chest. There's a little arch on your back, a little arch on your lower back. Hands there, going towards that leg. Yeah? Like, look, magic. There, look. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Down. So now I go from here, lifting the chest, lifting the chest. Advance will fall, one hand stay in front. Beginners, move your hands there, catch the floor from here. Now we're going to transition by bringing this leg forward and walking around. Walk, 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 pull. Then I'm leaning here now. So advance, catch the expression here where one hand is there. So it is there. Beginners here. Advance there. Then bring the leg forward. Walk around. Don't rush. Don't rush. If you can do this effortless, really get the contrast pulling. This is where we start to create style into movement. So we're not rushing that fall. So if his feeling starts to feel a bit tired, remember to lift the chest. Usually it's the chest that needs to lift a little bit more so we can sink there and start to express the movement. For the advance, we're trying to hold a little bit more as we sit. So there's not much momentum now. The momentum is controlled. Okay, knees on the floor. Okay, just let your body rest there a little bit. Point your feet. A very small back bend here. Very small back bend by pushing the hip forward. Your toes can touch behind. Knees are open. Tighten here, tighten the muscles. And I'm going to just relax by leaning forward, tiptoes, back here.